Welcome once again to this channel. I will be speaking today on segregation of duties within IT. Segregation of duties in IT is beyond a theoretical consideration. It's something that is very pragmatic, and every IS auditor should be concerned about segregation of duties within organizations. Um, Incidentally, I have seen on the field that for many organizations, right, IT, in IT, you have people that are doing too many things, right? So you have the guy is the system administrator, he's the database administrator, he's the software engineer, and so on. So you have all these titles and all these roles, right? Just being carried out by one person. And most of the time, so a lot of times, right, this concentration of power, okay, actually lead to abuses and irregularities within organizations. And that is why, this topic is very important for information security professionals and IT professionals and auditors in general. Okay, so segregation of duties is an important means by which fraudulent and malicious acts can be discouraged and prevented. All right. Duties that should be segregated include custody of the assets, authorization. Okay. So in IT, there is what we call uh, ownership and custodianship. All right. So we have data owners, you have asset owners. All right. So the owners are basically the senior executives in the organizations that have the responsibility to make decisions on IT. Okay, so you have a particular asset or you have a particular data. The owners are the ones that make decisions, they're the ones that make the rules. Okay, the ones that make policy decisions on those assets and data. The custodians are majorly IT and security admins. All right, so these are the guys that will implement the rules, all right, the directives that are given by the owners. Right. Now, so what we're saying here is that in an ideal situation, you cannot be a custodian and an owner at the same time. So you cannot be somebody that is making decisions on IT assets, and you're also the one in charge of implementing those decisions. That would be an abuse of power. That would be uh, leading to lack of segregation of duties. And of course, when such happens, it will have serious consequences for the organization, right? So segregation of duties controls, for example, you have transaction authorization. I've talked about data ownership and asset ownership. We need to have this organogram for approving transactions, for approving operations, for approving IT changes, right? For approving configuration changes. So things should not just happen, all right? Things in IT, things should happen systematically, things should happen orderly, all right? There should be a system of approval, all right? And of course, the people that will give the approval should be different from the people that will implement those approvals. All right, I've talked already about custody of assets, and I said custody of assets has to do with IT as feature administrators implementing rules and directives that are given by the owners, the asset owners and data owners in the organization. Access to data, of course, must be segregated, right? Must be restricted, right? Based on this privilege. I need to know, right? So some people who have access, the access is read only. Some people who have access is read and write based on what they need to do. And some people will be locked out completely out of the system or data. Okay, so we need to have those rules on access restrictions. Authorization forms, okay? I just joined the organization and was about to be created on the system. I should have a user access form to fill that will be authorized before I'm created. Okay, there's a change that is necessary within IT, all right, or configuration of an application. There should be a form to fill to authorize that change. These are important controls within IT, all right. Then you have user authorization tables. Okay, so it's also called access control list, ACL. So this is simply like a table in an application that shows you the list of users on that application and their rights. And so it's very important that auditors review these users authorization tables at least once a year, at least once a year. All right. So you have people, you have situations whereby people have gone on vacation, they're not working from home, and yet their ID is not, suspended. You have people that have even resigned, there are people that have been dismissed 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. The user IDs are still active on the system. This is a serious breach. All right. So we need to be able to ensure that as many times as possible in a year, we review the user authorization tables. All right, then we also have what we call compensating control. Sometimes segregation of duties may not be possible. Okay, maybe because there's lack of funding, it's a small organization and so on. So, but if segregation of duties is not possible, we should have controls to compensate for that. For example, auditor, right? So even if you have one person doing too many, performing too many activities or doing too many, um, taking on too many roles, right? If they are audit roles, right, we'll be able to track whatever that person is doing. Number two, reconciliation. So we want to be able to, regularly, maybe per week, per month, per quarter, right? Compare accounts, and from there you can be able to know whether irregularities have been done, have occurred or not. Exception reporting, we can build that into the application, like audit book, all right, so that if whoever has that superpower or super rules, right, whatever that person does that is against the norm or against the policies of the organization, the system can flag it. Okay, we have transaction log, okay, which is also part of the audit trail. All right, so we should be able to have logs to review whatever has been done at the end of the day, at the end of the week, as the case may be. Okay, supervisory reviews are also very important. All right, so we need to have somebody, technical supervising whoever has those super sign-ons and super roles. Independent reviews, if possible. All right, get somebody from another department. If possible, get somebody even from outside the organization, maybe your senior auditor, whatever. All right, to review the activities of the individuals that are performing super user roles within the organization. Okay, so that's that with compensating the segregation of duties. We can look at this in the question, all right, to see what we've learned. Which of the following controls will an IS auditor look for in an environment where duties cannot be segregated properly? Okay, so if you cannot segregate duties properly, which of the controls will you be looking at? A, overlapping controls, B, boundary controls, C, access controls, D, compensating controls. All right, so if you cannot segregate, definitely the answer is D, compensating controls. You should be able to apply compensating controls to mitigate the fact that you don't have segregation of duties. All right, so that is that in this presentation. This training on segregation of duties within IT is very relevant for candidates of CISA examination domain 2, all right, and other certifications that has to do with audit and the IT securities. Okay, so that's that today. If you have not subscribed to this channel, please kindly try and do so that you'll be able to get alerts when I drop more videos. Thank you.